Oi oi, it's your boy Hawker back with another video, this time looking at Heroic's A stack and A main aggression on an early gun round on Train. I've been busy casting recently, so I haven't been as active on this channel, but here's a nice round that I saw from Heroic where they take a big gamble in an early gun round with a 5-man A stack, but it pays off wonderfully for them. I've previously talked about how I like teams going for unconventional and unexpected rounds early in a half, just to try and throw your opponents off guard and keep them guessing and make it difficult for them to predict you. And this is a great example of that. Heroic stack 5 players on the A side of the map in this first gun round, which is something you basically never see. Simply stacking the A site would be a big risk though, so Heroic decide to do something with their A stack. They decide to get aggressive in this round. NiKo lines up a pop flash into A main, and there are 2 Heroic players close by ready to make the most of it. And I think it's fair to say Heroic do make the most of this, because they end up pushing A main, getting 3 kills with 2 flash assists from NiKo. And obviously you can't guarantee your opponents are going to have players in A main, so you can't guarantee this outcome every time. But worst case scenario, if there's no one there, you get A main control. And generally, if there are opponents in T main, you're at least going to force them away or potentially get kills. Another nice detail is that NiKo's pop flash is thrown from the bomb train, which allows him to easily climb up the ladder onto the top of red train, and this means that if anything goes wrong with his teammates taking the fights in A main, he can help them out pretty quickly from this angle on top of the red train. I'm sure some of you will be questioning why I'm showing such a simple but effective round, and one of the reasons is definitely that this is something simple that I think you guys can use at home, but I also think there's a lot of other implications that are worth talking about here. One of the things I like about this is the impact it's going to have on your opponents. I think some teams don't think enough about how your plays are going to affect how your opponents end up playing, if that makes sense. So for example, off the back of Heroic doing this on the first gun round, they gain a ton of intangible advantages over fours, at least in my opinion. Obviously, they gain things like momentum, but they also gain the ability to prove they're going to be taking risks, and that's something that fours now always have to have in the back of their minds. They always have to be aware that Heroic have the ability and the opportunity to go for some of these fast aggressions, so that could definitely make fours change the way they play. It also could make fours second guess going for this AWP boost again, because this time they did it, they tried it, and they got mowed down by some quick aggression. And if they're not comfortable dealing with that, they may not try and go for this boost again. I also just think in general, when a team is the underdog, they should be going for way more plays like this. Yeah, it is a bit of a gamble, it is a bit of a risk, but when you're the underdog, you're playing a team that's probably better than you across the board, so it's worth taking some of these risks in specific rounds. Especially rounds like this, where if you win, you force your opponents down to a low buy. This is the perfect position to throw in something different, to make them play a different style of Counter-Strike, and that makes it so that even if you can't beat them straight up playing standard CS, maybe you can beat them by getting some good reads, getting some good gambles like this. And just in general, I still feel like these kinds of plays are underappreciated and undervalued in the pro scene. Oh, and in case you were wondering what the other 2 Heroic members were doing, they were just trading nades at Ivy. They didn't really have to come into play in this round, but it still counts as a 5-man A stack, so I'm putting that in the title. So in conclusion, props to Heroic for trying something different, for taking a risk. I'm sure it must have been frustrating for fours to not even have a chance in their first gun round. Oh, and one final positive that Heroic got from this was that this dominant first gun round win allowed them to build up a ton of money, which later subsidized the double AWP setup that they wanted to run on their CT side. So there's another benefit for you. I can keep on going all day, but I should probably leave you guys to it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time.